Record. All right. I think I'm everywhere I'm supposed to be now. All right. So, I wanted to just chat a little bit today about actually a topic that I spoke about on another team call. It wasn't really a team call, actually. It was more like an impromptu, like live call. And it was actually something in Scotty's where he was just Scotty is my upline coach, Scotty Hobbs, and he was just sharing some stuff like that he wanted to be like super open and vulnerable about, like specifically with his personally sponsored coaches and not with like the entire like team and like his entire downline. And so there's like a lot of, I don't know, there's a lot of value in that, just like having somebody like share like the honest truth of like what's going on in their life and their business and that kind of thing. And it just kind of got me thinking about two things. One is like how to deal with disappointments, and two is like about carrying the weight of things that are happening for this purpose, like in your business. So, like one of the things that we were talking about on this other call was just about how sometimes you set goals for yourself, and sometimes they can be like personal goals, like something that is an individual goal where like you are the only one that's in control of making their goal happen. Everyone's muted. Okay, there we go. That's better. All right. So there's like personal goals where like you are the one that's in control. You are the one that's like waking up every day, making the decision if you are going to work on this particular goal, like if you're going to get up and get out of bed to start working on your health and fitness journey or whatever it is, like something where you are the person that's in the driver's seat. And then there's other goals that are a little more difficult when they start involving other people. And that's kind of the complexity of a Beachbody business or any network marketing, multi-level marketing business, is when you're setting goals for your business, it's not just on you. Like it's also a lot of business goals are reliant on your team and like other people following through with what they say their goals are and that kind of thing. So for example, if you were to say like, my goal is to be a 5-star diamond, you can't do that by yourself. Like it's just, that's not a personal goal. That's totally in your control. You have to like have that goal based on some kind of reality of having other people that are your personally sponsored coaches that have a desire to become a diamond coach. So that is just a very tricky part of this business and requires a lot of patience and requires a lot of just perseverance and just emotional strength, I would say, because it's very hard to like have goals. I mean, it's hard, like you can beat yourself up so much on just your own personal goals. And then when you have goals that are relying on other people to show up, then that like takes it to a whole other level. And so you can, when you're working on a goal that's a personal goal and you don't make that goal, normally you can really backtrack it to exactly why you failed, So like, let's just talk about a weight loss goal just to kind of make it simple and relevant to our business. If you have a customer that has a goal like, hey, I want to lose 25 pounds by my wedding is in 3 months. This is what my schedule is like, and you give them a system to follow. You say, all right, I think that you should do Insanity Max 30. It's a 60-day program. This is the meal plan. And you like lay it out for them. And it's totally realistic for them to achieve those results based on the program that you gave them. And if they get to the end and they haven't received those results, you can kind of look at lots of different areas as to why they may not have done it, So like, did they do the workouts? Did they follow the meal plan? Were they drinking their shakes? Were they staying accountable? Were they pushing themselves? There's a lot of areas that you can look to say like, okay, this is why I failed. This is where I can improve, and that kind of thing. And so when it's like a personal goal like that, it's much easier to deal with the disappointment if you don't hit your goal, because you can figure out what the reason why is. Now, when it comes to like a goal that's like a business goal or a team goal or something like that, sometimes it's a little bit harder because you've set this goal for yourself or for your business or your team, and you can't put the weight of the goal on other people because you're the one that set the goal. But at the same time, the goal is reliant on other people showing up and working their business and doing what they want to do. So if the goal doesn't happen, it's kind of a whole different level of disappointment, because you can't necessarily put your finger on why it didn't happen. Like you can maybe know the concrete reason of like, well, I only had 2 diamonds and not 5 diamonds. Like that's an easy thing to figure out. But I mean, like, as to why, like, was I not a good enough leader? Did I not recruit enough people? Was my Coach Basics not good enough? Did I not suggest the right PD book? Like there's a million different things that you could think of as to what you could have done better or what you could have done different or all those kinds of things. And so that was one of the things that we were talking about on this call. And I just thought it was important to really talk about, actually, because I think that, and this is something I'll share with you guys, is like I haven't really set any business goals for myself lately other than Success Club. And Mike has actually kind of been on my case lately. Like at the end of October, he was like, hey, make sure that you set your November goals and, share them with me so that we can, have a plan and, we can make sure that we're working on those. And like, I guess kind of in the back of my mind, I was like, yeah, of course like sometimes you kind of think that you're doing the things, but you're not really doing the things. And when I was really just kind of thinking about things, I'm trying to give myself like 10 to 15 minutes in the morning to just let my mind wander. It could be about random things like pets, or it could be about business, or it could be about whatever, clothing, just wherever my mind decides to go. And so I was thinking about the goal thing, and I was like, when is the last time that I've actually really set a goal, like where I was like, this is like something I really want. I'm going to put this on a permanent marker, Sharpie marker in my book, and it's probably been quite a while. And the last one was actually when I was trying to get to 10-star diamond. And for those of you guys that don't know, I'm a Lifestar 9-star diamond in my first business center and a 1-star diamond in my second business center. And in order to get to 10-star, you have to have 5 diamonds on one leg and 5 diamonds on the other. So like over my lifetime of having my coaching business, I have advanced more than 10 people to be diamond coaches, but it hasn't landed where there's like 5 and 5. So, and that's just like a whole different topic of conversation to say like why I place people in certain places, but I didn't have enough diamonds on my strong leg because I wasn't putting people over there. So anyways, when I was working with one of my corporate mentors, Arnold Nakaha, he was really pushing me to get to that next level of 10-star, which is a really big deal because it just once it's a different bonus level structure in the company, and because there's not as many 10-star diamonds, that like the bonus is much bigger because there's not as many people eating from that bonus pot. So it's a really cool achievement. And for me, it was a really like big belief on my side to say, yes, I'm going to go for this goal, because it meant placing people in a place I didn't want to place them. So like if I'm going to put them over there, then like I really want that to happen. And like I got disappointed several times over again when that goal didn't happen. And I think that I allowed that disappointment to stop me from making big, hairy, scary goals, BHAGs, as some people call them. It stopped me from making those again because I didn't want to feel that disappointment. Like I'm still human and we're all human and we don't like to feel disappointed. We don't like to, like open up the Christmas present and it's not the thing that we asked for. Like we want what we want, and that's just our human nature. And so, but then on the same hand, like I also am a true believer that you will get so much further along if you set the goal and don't hit it than if you never set the goal at all. So like another goal that I had set for myself previously, like 2 years ago, like I used to have this goal that I would have one new coach of mine get started on track to hit success starters every month. Now that didn't happen for me every month, but it happened I think the year that I made that goal, I think I had like 6 coaches at least get started on that 3-month qualification period of becoming a success starter. And it's because I had set the goal. So like there's this magical thing that happens when you set a goal and you like declare it to the world. It becomes something that you're thinking about. It's something that's in your mind. It's something that you're more aware that you want this to happen. So you're looking for people, you're talking about it, you're telling your new coaches like about success starters. But if it's not your goal and it's not on your radar, you may sign up a new coach and not even tell them what Success Club actually is. So, so that's something that, so anyways, getting back to disappointment, I think that a lot of times we get disappointed in something that happens, and it can even be disappointment with a personal goal. Like I was saying in the beginning, where the disappointment factor is different when it's just personal and it doesn't incorporate other people. But, if you didn't lose the weight that you wanted to lose after like going through the treacherous 21 days of 21 Day Fix, like if your results didn't meet the expectations that you had, then you may feel disappointed and it may be a little bit harder to like go all in that commitment again next time. But then you're really like robbing yourself of that opportunity for growth. And one of the things that I had brought up in this call with how to deal with that disappointment is tying back to your why. And like for me, the example that I gave was last year when I was thinking about not hitting my elite goal last year. And I was like, you know what, at the end of the day, I didn't hit that goal, but my goal my why when I started my business was not to be elite. And it was not like all these different recognition titles and things like that are on Beachbody's compensation plan. My why when I got started was that I wanted to make like this little bit of guilt-free money that I could use and have, and not have to like check on to my mobile banking account to like see if I had enough money to stop at Target, to see if I could like get my nails done or stop at Starbucks or whatever. Like that was my original why. And then, things grew and things developed and my why got stronger and bigger. And certainly as Mikey came into the picture, my why got huge, and, my desire to build this and to have it be something that can provide a legacy for my family and future family was there. But that why and like the mission statement that I've created for myself does not include the word 10-star, does not include the word elite. It doesn't include any of those things. It includes like having a life and a business that is filled with purpose and passion, and that fuels me and helps other people. So like when you are feeling disappointed about something that didn't happen with a goal that you set for yourself, it's just important to remember why you're doing it in the first place. Like you don't ever want to stop setting goals like I did, because there's no doubt in my mind that you're still going to be further along than if you had never tried in the first place. But you can't let that disappointment like tear you away from trying ever going forward, if that makes sense. My computer is going to die in a second, so I got to go grab my charger. So if anybody has any comments to share on that topic, I would love for you to share, and I will be right back. Somebody has got to have dealt with a disappointment before. Okay. All right. There's some things in the chat. So Robin says not hitting goals has nothing to do with your why. Yeah. And that totally saved my sanity when I was thinking about that and trying to work through that. And I think it's super important to remember that, and that's why it's so important to have your why established and to know that every day. And yeah, so, okay. So the other thing, we're getting close to 9. So the other thing that I wanted to share about was carrying the weight of certain things. So in this topic of feeling disappointment, a lot of times we can start carrying the weight of that disappointment, whether it is something you can start carrying the weight of other people's failures too. So if you have somebody, going back to the weight loss thing, I'm sure that some of you guys have experienced this, where you may have had a customer that was doing a challenge group with you and they fell off, and they didn't hit their goals, and they went on to the island never to be heard from again. And it kind of makes you feel what happened to this person? When I talked to her, she was so motivated. Was it me? Was it my group? Was it the program? And you can really just start carrying the weight of that person's failure. And those little things can really just really nip away at your strength, your mental strength, your tenacity, and your confidence that this works. And I think that's kind of it's one of the things that I've really come to realize, is that when people fail and they tell us about it, sometimes, our job as coaches can sometimes be like mini therapists, and we listen to people and we hear their problems, we hear their stories, we hear their excuses, and you start letting those excuses in, and you start rationalizing their excuses, and you start patting them on the back, kind of verifying their excuses. And then you kind of let them off the hook for their failure. And sometimes when you let them off the hook, it's you let them off the hook and you took their baggage and put it on yourself. And every time that you do that, it kind of nips away at your own confidence that this works. And I know, for me personally, I've talked to people and I've actually started double guessing myself, oh, you know what? Maybe this isn't the right thing for them. Maybe they are better off just trying to take a bunch of pills. You start thinking maybe this isn't the best thing. And we know it is. We know that the only true way to really have lasting results and success is by making lifestyle changes. But because you started listening to someone else's crap, you start believing them. I mean, not necessarily believing them for your own self, but you start buying into their crap, and then you start carrying it. And I had even I do, or I speak with a counselor on a regular basis, and she gets on my case all the time for me carrying other people's crap. And sometimes she even physically makes me hold stuff. She'll give me she'll hand me like a candle holder like this, and then she'll like start piling more stuff on it, and she's like, oh, you're gonna listen to that person's excuse, and then she'll just like pile it on, because it's a great visual and a great like physical thing to see, like that when you're carrying it, it makes it hard to keep going. And every time that you do that and you just like allow other people's excuses or failures or resentments or whatever in to yourself, then you're carrying it for them and letting them off the hook when it really has nothing to do with you. They have every opportunity, like you do, to wake up every morning and press play. They have every morning to get out of bed when their alarm clock goes off. They have every opportunity to order the salad instead of the cheeseburger. You know, like they have that same opportunity like you do, like I do. And we don't always want to make those choices, but we want the goal. We want the thing that we set out for ourselves, that we said, you know, and that our desire to hit that goal was bigger than our excuse not to. So anyways, I just thought that those were two super relevant things that happen to a lot of us that, you know, maybe we don't always talk about. And, you know, anytime that you start doing that and you're carrying that weight, it does chip away at your confidence, and it does kind of change the way that you talk to people, and take away that like burning truth that you know that this could work for somebody and that this could really change their life. So that's what I wanted to share with you all. Let me see. There's some comments over here. And the ranks has nothing to do with self-worth. Yeah. Robin had said that the rank has nothing to do with your self-worth. And that is so true. And it's something, and I've seen this happen to people, like even in like corporate land, and like in like Mike and being a police officer, and like how people kind of see themselves if they didn't make the cut for like being a part of a certain team, like K9 or SWAT or whatever, like, you know, or getting that next promotion. People, like I used to work in a law office, and I could just tell a difference in people that didn't make it to the next level of like being a partner, and, you know, things like that. It really can change the way that you see yourself and your worth, but really like who's defining your worth? You know, are you defining it, or are you going to allow some corporation to define it? And that was actually something that I said in the call I was referring to when I was talking about the elite thing. And I said, like, I love Beachbody, and you guys know that, and I think it's an amazing company, but I am not going to let corporate or Carl or whoever makes the rules for elite, I'm not going to let them define me as to if I'm an elite coach or not, or if I'm a good coach or not, because I'm a great coach, and I've helped a lot of people, and I'm not going to like allow that disappointment to make myself think that my business is awesome and thriving and fulfilling. And so, you know, so that's so true and so relevant. We can't allow those things to like hold us down, or to like make us feel like we're not more than, or, you know, those kinds of things. So, the island keeps growing. Yeah. Tanya, one of these days we're going to have to find that island where all these people go. They pay their $160 and then they get on this like massive, like, transit bus and get shipped off over there, never to be heard from again. So anyways, guys, it's Thanksgiving week. So, I hope you guys are going to enjoy time with your families. I want you guys to know that I'm super grateful for all of you guys, and for the friendships and the relationships we have. And, I was just looking at BOD to see if there was anything on the Fixate to try out for Thanksgiving. So if you guys try anything, make sure to let us know. And, last thing, if you can go on in Fit Family Network, I made a post that said, let's get to know each other better. A few of you have already commented on there, but if you could hop in and comment on that, I would really appreciate it. So, all right, guys, I will see you later. Have a good night. Bye.